is another episode of Community Connections airing on OROMIA11. I am your host, Anna Orr, and today's guest is Ondo. He is the festival manager for the Little Africa Festival taking place this Sunday in Hamlin Park from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'm excited to talk to him about the work of AEDS, the African Economic Development Solution Group, as well as some of the festival participants, vendors, and fashion events that are going to take place. This is going to be a wonderful episode you won't want to miss.
Akkam jirtu ani Almaastar Faan jedhama. Gaafa hagayya torba yookiin August torba sagantaa guddaa tokko qopheessuutti adeemaa jirra. Innis Little Africa Festival jedhama. Guyyaa sana akkasiin dhuftanii irratti hirmaattanii isin hafeerra. Biyya Afrikaa hundumaarraatii dhufanii guyyaatti aadaa isaanii, uffata isaanii, nyaata isaanii akkasuma bashannana adda addaa yeroo isaan itti godhanidha iddoo kanatti. Isinis kottaan wajjin bashannanaa isiniin jennee isin hafeerra. Guyyaa sana kottaa aadaa keessan uffadhaa, uffata aadaa keessaniin bareedaatii uffadhaatii kottaatii sagantaa kanarratti hirmaadhaa. Iddoonsaa Hamlin Parkii St. Paul Midway keessa jira. Iddoo sanatti akkasiin paarkii keessaa dhuftanii hirmaattan barbaanna. Dabalata addaa yoo barbaaddan immoo websaayitiin keenya www.littleafrica.com jedhama. Yookiin immoo Facebookii keenya irrattis nu argachuu dandeessu. Facebookiin keenya Little Africa MN kan jedhu irratti arguu dandeessu dabalata addaa. Iddoo sana akkasiin dhuftan isin hafeerra. Hundumti keessan adaraa kottaa irratti argama guyyaa kana. Irratti bashannanaa hundumtuu bashannana adda addaatu jira. Waan hunduma waan gaarii baay'eetu jira. Kottaa irratti hirmaadhaa isiniin jenna.
Hi, Ian. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you talk to me about your role with the African Economic Development Solution? Can you talk to me about that and your role with the festival?
Yes. Again, obviously, like you say, my name's Ondo. I often say, proud Ugandan.
Please say that. Yes,
originally
absolutely.
from Uganda. So really a proud African. But I'm also, I like to say I'm a proud new American as well, because as much as I have my origins in Uganda, America is home and Minnesota is home today. So really super excited to be here. My role with the AEDS, the African Economic Development Solutions, and particularly with the Little Africa Festival is I get the opportunity and the privilege and the honor of running the whole show. So I am the festival manager, and for the last several months I've just had an incredible opportunity to be on this journey with everybody else.
How have the connections been as you've been building this festival since it's been on hiatus because of COVID since 2018?
COVID without a doubt for the last several years brought quite frankly the whole world to its knees. And I think through that, people realized how much we need each other. And yes, the festival did take a hiatus. The last time they had an in-person festival was in 2019, which was just an amazing opportunity to be, in person with each other. And then obviously 2020, everything, went south. So they didn't have anything. And in 2021, they tried to have a virtual part of it, which really wasn't anything. And in 2022, they, Jean, who is the president, founder, and CEO of AEDS, together with the team decided that it was time, even though at the time it was still kind of hard to decide if they want to have it or not. They decided that they were going to have it because it's so important for people to come together. And so for the last several months, we've just been working really hard. So many different partners, community organizations that have come together to really see and make sure that the festival is the success that we hope it's going to be.
Now, you talked a little bit before we started rolling, we talked a little bit about how AEDS began. Can you share just a little bit of that story for our viewership? I think it's important not only to talk about the history of how things come to be and then where we're headed. And I think giving people a bit of a timeline of how those things, the small beginnings, have turned out to be such a prominent festival as Little Africa will be this coming weekend.
Yes, we are really, I mean, it's a couple of days, right? But AEDS is a nonprofit organization that does lending for small businesses, especially the BIPOC community and the Black community. And they've been doing this great work supporting communities for quite some time now. When it comes to the Little Africa Festival, which I've had the privilege of helping lead the last couple of months, had really humble beginnings. Obviously I wasn't there in humble beginnings, but I've had the opportunity to connect and talk and chat with the founders, so to speak, the visionaries and the people who had this vision to bring community together around who we are and culture. And so in 2014 was the first time that Little Africa Festival was inaugurated or started, and it had really humble beginnings in this nice community restaurant right on Snelling Avenue. A small group of people came together, the founders, and they said, we want to build community around culture, art, music, our traditions, and our stories. And Little Africa Festival was born. And for the last several years, the festival has grown bigger, has brought in more people, our community continues to come together, and it is the big festival that it is today. And it's the central piece of the festival is how do we come together and build community together around our culture, art, music, dance, and traditions. And it's just an amazing thing and an amazing festival to be at today.
I think fostering community is so important, especially here in the state of Minnesota, where oftentimes we see a lot of our Caucasian neighbors and some of our Laotian neighbors and our Native American neighbors, indigenous people here and others, but we don't see a lot of people that look like you and I often. Sometimes we have to go to specific places of worship or schools or programs to kind of navigate our state. And so I think it's really important that AEDS is not only doing this work, but that has been committed to doing this work, fostering community for people that are immigrants, but also for people that have been here and they're going, I'm still trying to find people that look like me and plug in.
That's right.
I think that's really important. And then who doesn't want to have some good food?
Yeah.
Look at some wonderful fashion. There's going to be a fashion show taking place, correct?
That's right.
And then have, of course, some wonderful music and see some beautiful brown faces.
Yeah. And you touched on something that is so important. I remember myself, if I may at least tell, a little bit of my story.
Please do.
We grew up, where I grew up, community is everything. Community is how we thrive. A lot of us come from places where poverty is a real thing, and so you survive by coming together as a community. So I grew up knowing my entire neighborhood. We played together, and when you come to this beautiful place in this country that gives us so much, but it's also a place where people are so busy, and sometimes we forget that we are, as good as our next door neighbor or as strong as our next door neighbor. And so you come into this new place, and a lot of us feel lost, right? And a lot of us sometimes feel very lonely because you're so used to the communal and the community kind of environment, and you come into a place where you got to worry about your next door, your next job. You got to worry running the kid and all that, and we feel lost, and sometimes we feel lonely. And what the festival does, I think, are a couple of things. Number one, it creates a space for us as immigrants and as Black people to share with each other, to appreciate our culture, traditions, art, music, fashion, rich fashion, and all of that. But I think the other really important thing that the festival does is it also allows and creates a space for other fellow Minnesotans to come into this space and learn about us and eat with us and enjoy and learn about who we are and our fashions. And I believe what it ultimately does is it allows us to build community, because if my fellow neighbor, who may be Caucasian or whatever, comes to the festival, maybe may have had some reservations because of not knowing anything about me or my culture or my people, and because of that opportunity for us to break bread together, they leave with a different perspective of who we are. And hopefully that allows us outside of that, because at the end of the day, the festival ends and everybody goes home. And if that festival allows us to be a little bit more graceful with each other when we meet each other in other spaces, that's a beautiful thing, I believe. And so for me, I look at this festival not just as a festival, but an opportunity for us to grow as a community, the entire Minnesota community. And I love that.
I think that's wonderful. And who can say no to all that?
Yeah. I
think it takes a lot of the tension out of it, from having to sit across from someone and have maybe a conversation that may be uncomfortable. But like you said, if I'm sitting down and we're eating a meal together,
that's right,
smiling at one another, I think it may make it a little easier.
It really does.
I think so.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about what the community feedback has been surrounding the event in the past?
I mean, in the past, obviously the community has always loved it because it's an opportunity for us to come together. And that continues to be the case. Now, when you fast forward and come to what the feedback has been since the announcement of the festival for the 2022 season, it's been overwhelming. I know that a lot of people are just super excited to be back together as a community. I know that all the different partners and community partners and organizations that have really kind of poured their love and interest and effort and force to make this a successful event. Overall, I would say the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, and we're looking forward to just seeing when Sunday comes. We've done a lot of work, but at the end of the day, we'll see what Sunday brings, and I believe we're going to have an amazing day.
I think it's going to be a beautiful event out at Hamlin Park.
Yes.
I want to make sure that we share that information. It is August 7th from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. out at Hamlin Park in St. Paul.
That is correct.
All right, so that people can actually find it. So
that's
come out
right.
there and
yeah,
enjoy.
you gotta find it.
Tell them just follow all the music and all the smiling faces
yes.
if you're in the area.
Yes.
What are some things you're specifically excited about as the manager of the Little Africa Festival to offer to the community at large this year?
I'm excited about everything, right, as the manager. But I think what is really, really exciting this year is the additions. For example, we're going to have Snelling Avenue right from University all the way to where the park is, which is La Fonde. That entire stretch of a very busy interstate street and highway is going to be closed off for the entire time the festival is going on. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing because it's a confirmation, in a way, that our community and the festival is a significant piece of our culture, especially in St. Paul, that we're having that. So, the other thing that is really exciting is in 2019, for the first time, they had the parade, which we call the Parade of Nations. And this is just an opportunity for, Africa is a big country, continent, sorry. All the different countries that are able to come out, will come out, but also community. Anybody who wants to be a part of the parade at 3 p.m., that's exactly when the parade is going to be. That's an exciting place to be. So anybody who wants to, what I count some of the exciting outside of performances, there's a parade at 3 p.m., and then obviously we have the opening ceremony. The opening ceremony is at 1 p.m. and this is the opportunity for some of the best artists and some of the best dance groups and some of the best, cultural kind of drumming, and all of that is going to happen at exactly 1 p.m. And I believe that is also something not to be missed. And then the fashion, and just an amazing list of local performers and artists that I think the community is really going to enjoy. And the food. You cannot.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yes.
I said, I haven't heard it mentioned. The food,
the food is amazing. We have a really great menu, just different, different cultural, vendors, food vendors that are going to be out there, really just ready to feed the crowd. And so
now,
I
I've
hope
seen a
people come
couple
out.
personal favorites on the list. I saw Fasika,
That's
Ethiopian
right.
restaurant.
That is correct.
I've seen Sabrina's Cafe.
Yes, Snelling
The
Cafe
Snelling
is gonna
Cafe
be
is
there,
listed. So
yes.
if those are any one of your favorites, or a restaurant that you've wanted to try for some time, please come out. There are also a few I have not mentioned, so please forgive me. I am not leaving you out. I just have not tried them myself to vouch just yet. But I'm sure you are absolutely delicious, and you all are going to fill a lot of bellies on Sunday.
That's right. Oh yeah, we're ready.
Can you provide us with a little bit about some of the AEDS resources that may be on site at the event regarding the business, if people want to actually come and either talk to someone about that, or maybe inquiring about what resources you guys offer?
Yes, so and as I said, AEDS, so the African Economic Development Solutions, is a nonprofit lending organization that really supports and empowers small businesses. So the entire business staff is going to be on site that day. So any information, if there are small business owners out there, or somebody who's thinking about what does it take for me to start a business, who do I talk to about navigating the entire process of all of that, we'll have people on staff that day to just answer any questions that you have, ready to help you get on that journey if that's what you're trying to do right now.
Now, I just want to highlight a few things AEDS has done in the last few years that I think are worth mentioning. One, the mission, building wealth within African immigrant communities, I think is essential.
That's right.
And giving us not only space in the world of finance, but business, and promoting that industry, promoting that amongst ourselves, I think is important. We look so much at large retailers, the McDonald's, the Burger Kings, the Taco Bells, or Targets, and we think about we're giving our money to these industries, but we don't know the CEOs. We don't know the founders of these places. And I don't think we always see ourselves as being in the position of CEO, of founder, of some of these large events or some of these large companies that can bring so much money into our communities.
That's right.
So I'm grateful to not only hear that's the mission, but to know that you guys are not only putting the work behind that, but also your money where your mouth is.
Yes.
AEDS provided 1,400 clients with business support through programs they foster on site in 2020, as well as providing 7,820 clients tech support. Now, I know some people that are doing business programs, but I don't know a lot of industries that are offering tech support in tandem with their business development programs. But anyone who knows, if you share any type of internet business or web portal, you need tech support.
That's right.
And that has the ability to bring your business to a screeching halt if you aren't able to navigate that. So for anyone that's interested in receiving support, either in person or through technical support for your existing business, I think you should contact AEDS or come out to the festival on Sunday so that you can hear not only how to become a part, but also how to stay in the know, and maybe bring a friend who's interested in starting a business or wanting to navigate that. Lastly, I just want to ask, is there a website for people that are interested in finding out what time everything starts, or if they want to see where the parade route is or anything like that? Can you share the social media handles or the website here for our viewership so that they're able to stay in the know?
Yes, definitely. So anybody who's out there and wondering how do I stay in the know, the best website, well, two websites, AEDS-mn.org. is the main website. The Little Africa website is www.littleafricafest.com. That's where you can go and find out a little bit more about the festival itself. And then we have the the Facebook handle, which is Little Africa MN. You can find us on Facebook. Those three, you should definitely be able to get a hold of somebody to give you some information or just figure out what's going on.
Okay. Ian, for anyone that is interested in taking pictures at the event, can you share the hashtag that they should be using so that we can see everyone's smiling face, but also all the beautiful fashions that will be represented on the event?
Yes, the hashtag that we have is 2022 Little Africa Fest. That's the one hashtag that we're using, so that'd be great if people want to tag that.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Do you have any last announcement that you would love to make regarding the event?
You know, really just to invite people.
Absolutely.
You know, I think this is going to be an amazing event. It always is. It's a family-friendly event, so families that are out there, please feel comfortable to bring your kids.
I think that's important, family-friendly.
Yes, and it's just going to, there's so much going on. There's so many different partners. Obviously, some of them, you know, we don't want to really mention names, but there's so much going on, you know, family and kid-friendly activities. The fashion show, just come out, you know, 12 to 9 p.m. We're just going to be ready to invite and welcome everybody to just take, you know, part in the festivities.
That's wonderful. Ian, I want to thank you for joining me on an episode of Community Connections, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday and hopefully get a chance to meet Jean and the rest of the team at AEDS.
It's been such an amazing opportunity to, you know, spend some time with you today, and yes, we will be ready for you. Jean and the entire team is going to be out there ready to go, and we can't wait to have you there.
This is going to be exciting. Thank you all for joining me. I cannot wait to see you all at the festival and to connect again soon. As always, I've been your host, Anna Orr, and this has been another episode of Community Connections.